Episode 19 of Season 2 of Tales from the Darkside. This one's called The Last Car. And already looking at the credits, we know it's going to be great, as a dream team of Michael McDowell and John Strysick, who worked together on an episode I loved, A Lease for Life, and also Anniversary Dinner. Both episodes I gave a 9 out of 10, and they're working together again for another great episode. But this time, instead of involving monsters like Michael McDowell usually does, this one involves ghosts. Michael McDowell wrote the screenplay for the Tim Burton movie Beetlejuice, and was also one of the co-writers of another Tim Burton film, Nightmare Before Christmas. You may have heard of them. And he also did the screenplay for the Stephen King movie Thinner. It starts with the university student Stacy catching her train at this train stop. Well, it doesn't really look like a train stop. It looks like a bus stop. In fact, it doesn't even look like a bus stop. It looks like a very cheap set. In fact, in this scene, as they're panning the camera around, you can see some like boxes in the back. I don't know, but even for Tales from the Darkside, this is not off to a great start, but that's okay. It makes up in its writing and performances in this episode. And after she catches this train, we spend the rest of the episode in this train car. She's in the train car with 3 other people. An old guy who sits in the back and offers her sandwiches, an old lady named Miss Crane, and then an annoying little kid who changes costumes and constantly runs around the train car, shooting his toy gun at her and changing outfits from army fatigues to a cowboy.
Weren't you wearing a cowboy outfit when I got on?
He's definitely the big demerit in this episode, since he just is very annoying, but it does lead to some jump scares. So she'll be sitting down, and then you'll hear what sounds like kind of a gun come off, and you realize it's just a little kid, or something loud will happen, it'll just be the little kid. So it does work to do some jump scares in this episode, which doesn't happen very often in Tales from the Darkside. But I just wish the little kid was not screaming the entire time. Maybe have him shoot his little fake guns, or try to rope some in with his cowboy outfit, but not also yell at the same time. But he does serve his purpose to give a little energy to this episode. So those are the 3 people she's stuck with. Stacy immediately knows something is wrong with this train. It won't let her go to any other car. This is the only car she's allowed to be in. The train goes through tunnels, and she knows that there's no tunnels on this trip. The little kid keeps changing his clothes, seemingly out of nowhere, and the old lady just avoids all of her questions. The train is not making any stops either. She thinks she's on the wrong train.
On the right train. We should have stopped at Mystic and Guilford. We haven't stopped since I got on. This is the train to Providence, isn't it?
I have a through ticket.
Where does this train end up? How far does it go? Where is the stop where everybody gets off?
Maybe you should speak to the conductor.
Stacy is also warned about the tunnels, and those are the best part of the episode. Even the other 3 passengers get scared when you go through the tunnel. But if she looks closely, the tunnels do hold an answer to a lot of her questions about where this train is actually headed.
But it's still completely black out.
It's night.
Even when it's night, you can see street lamps.
We're in open countryside.
And you can see the moon, the stars.
Clouds cover the stars, dear.
I feel like we're in a tunnel.
When we're in a tunnel, you'll know. Why don't you try to sleep again?
And every time they go through them, things really change a lot in the train car. So it seems that Stacy's gonna be in this car for a really long time. Now, why exactly the other passengers and the conductor couldn't tell her what was going on? Maybe she just had to find it out on her own. Also, this episode would be a minute long. If they just said, hey, you're dead, they would then have to think of another plot. That's probably the reason. Because Michael McDowell said so. And these skeleton designs, when I first saw them, I laughed. They look goofy. Looks like something out of like an EC comic or a creep show, but they don't really look like skeletons or ghosts. They almost look like a green mummified version of like a small monkey. That's at least what I thought it looked like. A monkey that's decaying. So I like the idea of this episode. It is well done, with the exception of the little kid being a little too annoying, but he does bring some jump scares, as I mentioned before. And you know something is going on. The most logical conclusion is she's going to be here forever and she's dead. So it's not like a super twist, but the way that they roll it out, especially doing puns about how she's dead tired in the beginning, they lay it out in a very logical and I think good way. So I'm going to give Last Car a 7 out of 10. Definitely an above average episode, but I think the 2 episodes that Michael McDowell worked on before, Lease for Life, is a lot better, has an actual monster in it, and better effects. For an episode that takes place in a train car the entire time, you would think they could do better skeleton effects than this. I also would have liked to see more of the tunnels. They go through a tunnel a couple times in this episode, and those are the best parts, where the kid shoots the guy. Bullets are really coming out of this kid's gun, he gets bloodied up, and then at the end when they turn to skeletons. So the tunnel parts are the best part of this episode, and they should have been a lot longer. We're almost done with season 2. Next up is episode 20, A Choice of Dreams. It features a mobster played by Abe Vigoda, who goes under the knife and begins having these visions and regrets of all the people he's hurt in the past. This one is pretty trippy and has much more style than we usually see in these episodes. So stay tuned for that next week. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Tales from the Darkside, Fear Itself, which is finished, Monsters, which is finished, and Cowboy Bebop. Thanks a lot.